He was truly the gentle giant.
Fans, take a look at this. Can you believe that? Perhaps even, let's compare it to the size of my head.
Have you ever heard of André the Giant? He was the biggest man and the greatest wrestler the world has ever seen. In this video, you will learn the full story of his short but remarkable life and find out how his daughter lives today. Is she really as huge as her father? Let's find out. André René Roussimoff was born on May 19, 1946, or March 19, 1946, in the French town of Commiers to a family of Bulgarian and Polish immigrants, just a year after the end of the Second World War. He was the third child in a large family and was born on a farm along with his two brothers, Antoine and Jacques, and his sisters, Helena and Maurice. André wasn't always a giant. As a child, he was completely ordinary, just another kid fitting in. But when he was 12, he grew so much that he could no longer fit in the seat at school. His parents didn't see his unusual height as a problem. On the contrary, they thought it was a blessing because André could be more helpful with the heavy work around the farm. André dreamed of learning to play the guitar, but his dream never came true. His fingers were just too big and thick to control the strings. He was also not enlisted in the French army. During the medical exam, the officials told him he was simply too large. At that time, André was already over 2 meters tall and weighed about 287 kilograms. It was during this time that he decided to pursue a career in wrestling, which quickly gained popularity. After moving to Paris, André decided it was time to change his life. He took a job as a loader, lifting heavy goods, and also began training with the goal of fulfilling his long-held dream of becoming a famous wrestler. He began performing under the name Giant Ferret and teamed up with promoter Frank Valois, who organized matches for him in France, Great Korea, Australia, and many African countries. André wrestled regularly and won every match. His extraordinary physical build left his opponents with no chance. It was during this time that French-Canadian wrestler Edward Carpenter noticed him. He was impressed by his talent and potential and made sure that the young man's parents allowed him to move to Canada, where greater opportunities awaited. In 1970, Roussimoff traveled to Japan, where he was awarded the title Monster André. During a routine medical exam in Japan, he was diagnosed with acromegaly, a condition caused by excessive production of growth hormone, which continues even after reaching adulthood. This leads to the enlargement of the body. Similar health issues have arisen in other well-known wrestlers and actors such as Igor Kavinsky, Big Show, and Giant Gonzalez. 2 of them died before the age of 50. Doctors informed André that without surgery, he might not even live to 40 years old. But he was afraid of losing the very thing that made him a star, his extraordinary physical presence, so he chose to accept his fate and live as he wanted to the fullest. André adopted the name The Giant and began working with the WWF. In the ring, he appeared as indispensable, a colossus, and his matches with players like John Studd and Killer Khan attracted a huge number of spectators. Fans began to call him the 8th wonder of the world. He went on to face Hulk Hogan in 2 legendary matches. He lost the first one in 1987 but returned the next year to claim victory, receiving great acclaim. As his illness progressed, he began to engage in sports with other players. As a result, André found it more difficult to remain active in solo matches, so he was often invited to participate in tag team events where the physical demands were somewhat more manageable. Alongside his wrestling, André also took part in acting. Audiences remember him for his roles as Netta Vargas in Zorro and Daggett in Conan the Destroyer, but his favorite role was Fezzik, the gentle giant in the fairy tale film The Princess Bride. In one scene, his character had to lift Robin Wright's character in his arms, but due to a recent spinal surgery, André was provided with protection. However, this did not diminish the film's chance. André's pain caused constant discomfort, which he tried to alleviate with alcohol. This led to his unofficial reputation as the loudest drinker in history. Friends believe he could drink from 119 to 166 beers in one party. In Canada, André received the name André the Giant, which stayed with him for life. He continued to win matches and quickly rose through the ranks of professional wrestling. In 1974, he was featured in Guinness Book of World Records as the highest-paid wrestler at that moment. However, behind the scenes, many called him the loudest beer drinker on earth. This nickname wasn't just for show. Very few people could claim they could drink 42 liters of beer in 6 hours. In one document, 2 acquaintances of André confirmed that they personally saw him drink more than 73 liters of beer in one evening. Perhaps the most legendary beer story from André happened on the night when he sat in the lobby and drank 127 cans of beer. After finishing, he promptly fell asleep right there on the table. The hotel staff tried to move him but quickly realized it was impossible. In the end, they had no choice but to let the giant sleep where he was until he woke up on his own the next day. The 2018 documentary shed light on the reasons behind André's life. As it turned out, he was constantly in pain, especially in his back and legs. His pelvis simply couldn't withstand the stress of his enormous size and weight. André's existence could have been improved with surgery on his chest. This would have stopped his growth and allowed him to adapt either naturally or with the help of additional surgeries. But André was simultaneously against the idea. His entire career, his entire identity, had been built on being a giant. Going under the knife to stop his growth felt completely wrong to him. The pain, often unbearable, wasn't his only struggle. The world around him simply wasn't built for someone his size. He couldn't fit in a regular car. Getting into elevators was a challenge, and standard doorways were a tight squeeze. Eventually, André had to build a custom home where everything, from door frames to furniture, was specifically designed for his massive frame. He also needed clothing and shoes made to order. Tailors and shoemakers had to address the immense pressure he put on his feet, creating items that could support the weight of such a large man. Flying was another challenge. André always required 2 seats on an airplane, and using the airplane restroom was impossible. He simply didn't fit inside. To address the issue, airlines would sometimes curtain off an area around him and provide him with a bench, so he could relax without being confined to his seat. All of this was detrimental to his independence, constantly reminding him that he was different, that he didn't fit into the normal world. It was deeply painful. On one hand, his uniqueness made him a star. On the other, it reminded him daily that he was out of place. That constant emotional conflict, his friends believed, is what drove André to drink. Alcohol became his only escape from a reality that never let him forget he was not like everyone else. André the Giant, once the highest-paid wrestler in the world, was surrounded by legendary athletes and actors. Among his friends were Muhammad Ali, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Peter Maivia, the brother of Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. André died on January 27, 1993, in the living room while he was traveling for his father's celebration. The cause of death was heart failure. His body simply couldn't give him more time. At that time, he weighed over 560 pounds and stood nearly 7 feet tall. He officially retired from wrestling in 1992 and did not return to the ring again. His family had hoped to bury André next to his father, but according to his wishes, his body was cremated and his ashes were spread on his ranch in Ellaby, North Carolina. It was a place André loved dearly, where he spent time caring for animals and playing with his favorite dog. After André's death, his entire estate was managed by his daughter Robin. During his life, André was not in contact with her and was estranged, as he never married her mother. Very little is known about André the Giant's personal life, and he never entered into a legal marriage. Incredibly, he had a daughter with Jean Christensen. Robin Christensen Rusimoff was born during a brief relationship André had with Jean, a former model who later worked as a journalist. Their relationship was short, and it remains unknown whether they were ever married. No legal documentation has surfaced to confirm it. Perhaps they went their separate ways by the time their daughter was born, and it was a surprise to both. In the early 1990s, Jean shared her memories in an interview, revealing that she believed André was infertile initially. André acknowledged that he was the father, and this was verified by a blood test to confirm his paternity. After that, he began paying child support, initially $750 a month, which later increased to $1,000. Robin Christensen Rusimoff was born in 1979. Despite being legally acknowledged by her famous father, André had no contact with her and only provided financial support. According to Jean Christensen, by the time Robin was 12 years old, she had seen her father only 4 times, once as a child, again around 1 year old, then at age 4, and finally in November 1991 when their meeting lasted only 5 minutes. As Robin grew older, she began to realize that her legendary father was mostly a stranger to her. In an interview, she once reflected that he was just my father, but also not, you know what I mean. This complex relationship continued into adulthood. She tried to learn more about him by talking to players who knew him, but as she stated in an interview with CBS Sports in 2015, if you're not part of the industry, it's very hard to find someone who would open up. Even so, Robin believed that if André had lived longer, their relationship would have grown stronger. Instead of emotional distance, André was sure he would support his daughter in her endeavors, leaving her a significant portion of the income generated by his merchandise, a legacy that she continues to receive to this day. When it comes to physical presence, Robin certainly shares many of her father's features: small eyes, a broad jaw, and strong cheekbones. Signs of gigantism are also evident in her appearance. Robin stands about 5 feet 11 inches and weighs over 220 pounds. Today, Robin is known by the nickname, Daughter of the Great André, a title she has embraced as she continues her father's legacy in the world of wrestling. Working with WWE, she earns around $500,000 annually. However, like her legendary father, Robin keeps a low profile and usually avoids the media. She is very private about her personal life and has never married. In 2024, Robin celebrated her 45th birthday and enjoys life on her own terms. She values her independence, travels often, and lives free from societal expectations. According to CBS Sports, Robin is actively involved in all projects that use her father or his likeness, whether it's video games, merchandise, or other forms of media. She also maintains a close relationship with WWE. In 2017, Robin attended a WWE SmackDown event where she met Natalya Neidhart, the daughter of Jim Neidhart, one of André's former colleagues. In 2020, when Robin made an appearance in an interview with Sports Illustrated, she spoke about her father, who was one of the most iconic figures in film. She recalled his role in the 1987 classic The Princess Bride, where he played the lovable giant Fezzik. When my mom brought me to the set, I still remember the moment when they decided to kill Buttercup. I exclaimed, "That's my dad," Robin recalled. He was incredibly thrilled with that role. In many cases, he embodied that role. He was so kind. Everyone brought so much heart to their work, and it showed. Robin also mentioned that her father worked with talented actors like Mandy Patinkin and Carey Elwes. Carey later invited Robin to a special screening of the film in Brooklyn. "Of all the people my father worked with in football and Hollywood, Carey is one of those I love talking about him with," she told CBS Sports. In 2018, when the documentary André the Giant was released, Robin gave several interviews. She expressed hope that the film would help fans understand who her father really was, not just as André the Giant, but as a real person. "That public persona never meant much to me," Robin said. "When I saw him, he was just my dad. I watched him on stage, not in the ring. I didn't follow the matches. I saw him from the front of the stage, so I saw the before and after, but not the after. He really was a gentle giant." Instead of being in a complicated relationship in her life, Robin Christensen-Roussimoff became a living continuation of André the Giant. No one is without flaws, and perhaps now, looking down, André is truly proud of the woman his daughter has become. Let us know in the comments what you think about this story. Was it the right decision for Robin to follow in her father's footsteps? That's all from me for today. Take care and see you next time. Subscribe now and become a part of Expedition Diaries for more.